Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with my friend Mark Olroyd from Suddenly Comics. And we are the Price Variants. We're going to be talking about the hottest Silver Age comics of the week. And let's get right into it.
Right, off we go. That was a short introduction, Alan. Right, here we go.
Short introduction. Short and sweet.
First up, we have got a lovely Brave and the Bold, number 27,
Mm-hmm.
appearance of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, second appearances. So sometimes I always wonder about second appearances. Like I think they're actually a good spec in terms of like, when the first appearance becomes too expensive, go for the second
This is
appearance, right? Oh, third. This is the third appearance. Sorry. So that's the next level.
Yeah.
When the second appearance becomes too expensive, then you go for the third. But it's still a cool cover.
It's a great cover. These early Brave and the Bolds, well, you know I love them. So I've got all these. One of my final ones to my Brave and the Bold was the first appearance of Suicide Squad, which is a pricey book now.
Yeah. Well, the movie did reasonably well, and they're established characters as in terms of DC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. The first appearance has a big hand. This has a big hand as well.
Yeah, well, big hands are good, aren't they? We've got
Yeah.
a creature of Ghost Lake that looks like a merman.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a very, very cool book. Okay.
In 6 hours as well. Right. So $154.
Seems very affordable to me, but okay. I'm not sure. I don't know these Brave and the Bolds as well. So
Yeah, but the sort of the second, third, fourth appearance of Suicide Squad's not hugely collectible. Also, the Cave Carson stuff goes quite cheap as well. So let's have a look. It's a 6.0. There we go. It's previous
all over the place.
was 288. The sale 154. So down a bit.
But it seems like it's one that goes up and down. It's just like
Yeah.
not really consistent.
I mean, there won't be many of these, Alan. I'm predicting 60. There you go, 82. Wasn't far off.
Wow. Wow, really low census count.
Very low. The ones I'm still missing about 5 or 6 of the Brave and the Bolds. They're all from the teens and early 20s, and on some of them there are only 20 graded copies.
Wow. And is that just because there's not like, I mean, if this sold for like $100-ish range, is it just because of the lack of value that they're not getting graded, or just really scarce books?
I just think they're quite scarce. So, if you've got Brave and the Bold 9, you'd probably get it graded if it's in a decent grade. Because it is, those ones are probably worth $300 or $400 in mid-grade. So yeah, no, I think they are genuinely quite rare.
Okay, interesting. I mean, it's a very cool book. I like the Suicide Squad. It's a cool cover. Yeah, no, it's it's a good price. Okay,
Yeah,
somebody did well on that one.
yeah, I'm playing into my ballpark then. Definitely like that one. Right, next up, I'm afraid this is completely odd and I couldn't find it on Go Collect. So there we go. It's one of these electricity company promote
Yeah,
magazine.
yeah. When I saw this, I just thought it was really interesting. There's a similar one to it, which is actually a SOTI book. This kind of had the same kind of art style, so it
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of it. It's like the SOTI book is called Peter Penny and His Magical Dollar, and it's like these children education books
Yeah.
that are just really weird. They're very weird.
I'll tell you who's got a lot of these is Metarog.
Metarog does, yes, and also Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze.
Okay.
They both collect it, yeah. But there are lots of collectors for these things, and they can do quite well. I mean, this is a mid grade.
Yeah, 5.0.
And these were probably given away for free, right?
Oh yeah, these will be free promotional comics. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no price on it.
yeah. I mean, you can tell that the quality isn't there. There's no actual cover to it. Um, but I think they're interesting.
Yeah, I mean these would have been made for a couple of cents to give away, in newspapers and things. You just shoved it in a newspaper, and you know, um,
The other cool thing about it is was made by EC Comics.
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, well, I suppose they had to get somebody to do the printing.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? So I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool thing. Wish we knew more about it. But
Interestingly, it also says Technicolor motion picture, ready-made magic. So this is based on a cartoon
oh wow,
produced
wow.
by
See,
Walter Lantz Productions.
oh wow. Okay, so same people that as Woody Woodpecker.
Woodpecker, yeah.
So yeah, so this is before my time period. So I'm not familiar with like I just thought it was such a cool book, just because you don't see these very often.
We can't
Um,
compare prices because it's not on Go Collect.
does it give a like a rough value? It sometimes does on the bottom, like go down.
Yes. Overstreet, 40 $20, six oh $30. So this 60 is selling for 216, has somewhat exceeded the Overstreet price.
Yeah, well, I really don't trust those overstreet prices, but usually I'll sort of when I bid on these kind of things, I'll take the overstreet price as like a rough ballpark, and then I'll double it, and then assume that that's reasonable price for the book. But this is 10 times the book.
Yeah,
The
I
price.
suspect Metarog picks his up for out of dollar bins over the years because
Yeah,
he's quite tight with his money. So I suspect he's done well on these.
yeah, no, I mean it just shows like a type of collectible that has been a little bit overlooked, and there's a lot of potential behind it. Even the Peter Penny one that I mentioned as a SOTI one,
Yeah.
that goes for like 500 to $1,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, we don't get them over here in the UK. Nobody would have been bothered to import these into the UK because they were free giveaways. So we don't see these.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Next up, another fun one. Flintstones.
yeah. So this is Flintstones number 16, I believe.
Yeah. Is there anything special about Flintstones 16? First appearance.
Yes, first
Bam
appearance of
Bam.
Bam Bam.
Oh, goodness me. It's a key.
Yeah, I actually have two
The
copies of
cover.
this.
And she's there on the cover.
Yeah, so he's on the bottom of the cover.
Oh, Bam Bam's the boy. Who's the girl? What's the girl called?
Pebbles,
Pebbles, that's it.
Pebbles.
There's Bam Bam.
So Bam Bam, this book actually is an interesting, very hard book to find. Really hard book to find. So I actually have a kind of crazy story about it. I wanted to get this first appearance because I really do like the Flintstones. And there was a copy that was just the ugliest thing. It was taped all the way across the book. It looked like somebody had like done every nasty thing you can do to a comic, and they wanted like $30 for it. Okay, so this was and I'm like looking at this book for months, waiting for something better, just something, anything, just something that wasn't like totally run over by multiple cars. So nothing came up after a year of watching. Okay,
Yeah.
so I said, okay, I bought the book, and then I was doing some sorting out of my comics, and then I had bought this lot of like Gold Key books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and I paid like $10, and it was like a full short box.
Yeah.
And I flipped through it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like a mint copy, like beautiful, like it's like a 9.0 copy of this book. So I'm like, oh man, I'm
Right.
like so annoyed.
Okay.
That's my story behind this book.
Well, great. So Alan's got one of these at 90-ish. This one sold for $264.
Hmm.
See, that's up, down, roundabout. It's down.
Yeah.
quite a lot. The previous one sold in September, so 6, 7 months ago, for 1249, and this one has sold for 264. That is odd.
Well, so I think that top one is like the same thing that happened to me. So where you don't see this book that often. And so what ends up happening is like when people see it, they go, I gotta get it, I gotta get it, or I'm never gonna see it again. He Somebody overpaid. You can see that this current price is right on that trend line, which
Yes,
is
I
not
mean,
much of
that one that went for the high price was the first copy for 4 years. Uh,
yeah. It just you don't see these books that often and in high grade. So
somebody's
look at the census.
got a bargain then here.
Yeah, so the census count is 19.
Ah, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it gives you a sense of how hard this book is to find. Um, and especially these in high grade,
Yeah.
really hard to find
Is
because
this a
these
file
were
copy?
given to kids.
Is this a file copy?
I imagine it is. Is
Yeah.
it?
Yes, file copy.
Yeah. So generally the file copies will be like pretty much most of the census is probably file copies.
Somebody's got a bargain here, you know.
Yeah, I know. Probably should have gone for around. I wouldn't. I think that 1200 one is really an outlier.
Yeah.
It probably should have gone for around 500.
Yeah.
Would have been my
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
have been my
That's
guess.
sensible to me as well. Right.
Hmm.
Okie doke. That was an interesting one. All right. Next up. Ooh, nice comic. This is the last journey into mystery before it
Yes.
Thor.
Yeah, it's sort of like the crossover where it becomes the Thor thing, right?
Yeah. So this is Journey into Mystery 125. So the next issue is Thor 126.
Yeah.
Got Hercules making an appearance. Last issue, story and numbering continued in Thor 126. No, I like
Hmm.
this cover, by the way.
Yeah, for some reason I kept on buying. I have multiple copies of this just because I kept on thinking, oh, that's such a cool book. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I bought a raw copy of this in auction a couple of years ago. Got it graded. I think it came back a 7.5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's a good grade for this book.
yeah, yeah. Very clean looking. So is this one, Beauty at 9.4.
Yeah, and actually, I really like the color scheme, even though
That's
it's a
like,
very simple
yeah,
book,
I think
but
it's
it's actually quite
pretty
nice.
well done. I do as well. Right. Okay. $600 for a 9.4. I think it sounds cheap.
That sounds cheap to me too. I remember this book being a fairly pricey one in mid grade. So,
Oh, no, it's actually
oh, it's actually almost up to the previous peak that there was at.
the previous peak was back in 2012. That'll be when the first Thor film came out, presumably.
Yeah, I can.
It's had a rocky history. Didn't really do much over COVID, but it seems to have got back again somehow.
Yeah, that's really odd. I mean, Thor is a one is done character right now. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, there's not much happening with him. I even think the actor Chris Hemsworth is not coming back. He's given up.
Mind you, this is a bit like the last one. This hasn't come up for 4 years in this grade. Um,
Yeah.
so, there might be a couple of people out there who go, well, I want to, this is a really nice high grade. Are there many more higher graded than this? I shouldn't imagine there's
So
many.
is this a record? Is this a record, by the way? Or is
Um,
it? No,
no, we're not.
slightly below. Not quite, but almost. I mean, there's only
Yeah.
648
Yeah.
universals, so that's really low.
And there's very few higher graded ones. 17 high.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fairly rare comic for Marvel. I mean, because it's like that weird mid-run thing where you don't know that it's going to be a key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you look at the fair market value that Go Collect, they're saying fair market value is $1,000 on this, based on, I think, based on the way the previous sales on 9.8 and 9.6 have gone.
Yeah. I mean, look at 9.8's FMV is like 16,000.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why they've got the FMV at 1,000 for the 9.4.
I always think that's interesting. Like I always felt like a 9.4, just as a quick aside, is such a great grade because it's about a tenth of the value of a 9.8.
Yeah, isn't it?
So and if you look at the book,
less in this case, this guy picked this up for 600. So
Yeah, well, yeah. And my point is though, if you look at the book and you see that there's no like color breaking spine ticks, but there's spine ticks but non-color breaking, I'd press it and go for that gold. Go for the 9.8. You never know. I mean, so many 9.4s can turn into 9.8s probably.
Yeah, and for a Marvel, this is relatively rare, only 700.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought this one was interesting. Is that my five?
Sorry?
Is that my five books?
No, I
Or is
think
there one more?
one, two, three, four. That's four we've done.
No, one more.
Or Avengers, first appearance of Kang. My prediction here is this is done badly, Alan.
Yes. This one is I think it's gonna be down a lot.
This
So
went loopy, didn't it?
this is Avengers 8. I remember like a 4.0 or 3.0 going for around the same price. So I think it used to be around $200 a point. So this is like half of what I expected to have sold for, maybe even a third. So yeah. But it's a really nice copy. It's
Very
a
nice.
shame that they didn't do him well.
Seven hundred
They really
dollars.
didn't do a good job.
$700 for first appearance of Kang, who's done and dusted before he'd really been used properly. Right.
Yeah, I mean, they tried using him. They just didn't do a good job with him.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness, look at this one. How are the mighty fallen?
What was that peak? I'm so curious.
Really want to know. Nearly $4,000. So
Oh, ouch. Ouch. It's not even, it's down like a fifth,
oh,
like a sixth. No, a sixth.
yeah,
Sixth of the price.
yeah.
Wow. That is insane.
It's even gone below its pre-COVID, I think.
Because, well, I mean, there was so much hype around this character. This character was the next Thanos. This
Yeah,
character, and actually, you know what's funny? This character actually got more utilization than Thanos did. The Thanos really is two films at the end of the day, right?
yeah,
Maybe three films. It was like two or three. He was not really used that much. He just sort of was the build up, right?
yeah,
Um, uh, I think it was three films because he was in Guardians as well, right? Um, but this, Kang was in two or three movies, and he had a whole TV series. Just and yet, like that destroyed the character. Usually, that makes the character like a household name.
yeah. No, complete disaster for Marvel, the whole Kang thing. So
Yeah,
had an effect on the price of the comic as well. Uh,
yeah,
Nightmare. Right.
nightmares.
It's going to go even lower, Alan. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, it is like, I mean, it's almost back to that trend line that was like before any announcements of who Kang is.
Yeah, I mean, look here, back 2019, before we had any rumors of Kang, 780. It's now at 720.
Wow. Yeah, that's where bad movie making can really hurt.
Yeah.
Makes you actually hate the character that was once loved. So yeah. So that was interesting. So thanks. There's going to be bigger books on Mark's channel, and actually no spiders this week. No, well, one spider, but not the big spider.
Oh,
So
oh,
not,
we are going to get a Spidey,
yeah, one Spidey.
one of the big two.
It's not one of the big two though.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a surprise one. You got to go over to Mark's channel and check it out. What is it? So again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.